Over the weekend, we saw lots of action went down in the English Premier League. Lots of drama that actually went down. Result of the English Premier League over the weekend saw Nottingham Forest went away to defeat Brentford by 2-0. Chelsea travelled to Selhurst Park to defeat Crystal Palace by 3-1. Aston Villa travelled to St James's Park where they defeated Newcastle United by 2-0. And the star match of the weekend in the English Premier League saw Manchester United defeat table leaders Arsenal by 3-2. Also in the La Liga, the Galacticos traveled away to defeat the Yellow Submarine by 2-0 to actually keep the gap close between table leaders FC Barcelona, who defeated Real Oviedo by 3-0. So it was really an action-packed weekend that went down in the world of football. So in this video, we'll take a look at the latest happening in Chelsea. Chelsea have actually signed one new centre-back. Anyway, just kidding, not a new centre-back. Okay, let's check the latest coming in from David Houston. Breaking, Chelsea officially activate recall clause for Aaron Anselmino. Back to the club next week. Borussia Dortmund informed today that Chelsea Football Club had recall clause and wanted Anselmino as part of the squad after excellent impact at BVB. Deal done. This report came in as at late Saturday that Chelsea have officially activated the recall back clause of Aaron Anselmino back to the team after he has had an excellent spell, about 5 months of loan spell at Borussia Dortmund. And the report went on to say, this is coming from Fabrizio Romano, Aaron Anselmino leaves Borussia Dortmund and returns to Chelsea. So, Aaron Anselmino have actually left Borussia Dortmund and returned to Chelsea. And if you take a look at the video clip, you can see the young lad being very emotional, having a goodbye hug with his newly found teammate in Borussia Dortmund. And he actually came up as a substitute in Borussia Dortmund 3-0 win over Union Berlin in the weekend. And so, more or less, it was his farewell message and a goodbye game to Borussia Dortmund. So, Aaron Anselmino has actually returned back to Chelsea and will be part of first team squad. And I want to believe that the Chelsea hierarchy that have actually recalled back Aaron Anselmino will ensure that the young lad actually have game time in order to continue his development. Aaron Anselmino actually had a very good loan spell at Borussia Dortmund, and report have it now that he has actually returned to Chelsea. But that is not all in this January transfer window, as Chelsea are still going for more. This is coming from Fabrizio Romano. More business to do for Chelsea in the coming days after activating today's recall clause for Aaron Anselmino. Chelsea Football Club involved in the race for Jeremy Jacquet to be signed now, but for summer. Battle ongoing with Liverpool and FC Bayern. Extra business could also happen next week. So, here's the thing. Why is Chelsea actually going for Jeremy Jacquet when we have Aaron Anselmino, who have actually been recalled back from the Borussia Dortmund loan spell, and we have Mamadou Sarr, who is currently an African champion with Senegal in the just concluded AFCON and plays his club football with Strasbourg after being loaned by Chelsea. In my opinion, going for Jeremy Jacquet, I think Chelsea doesn't have what it takes to actually sign Jeremy Jacquet. And for that deal to definitely happen, Chelsea have to sell. And that is where the big question will definitely arise. Who will be sold? Because definitely for Jeremy Jacquet to actually come in, Chelsea need to sell, because the asking price for Jeremy Jacquet is around 65 million euros. And Chelsea need to sell. There is no big deal. The January transfer window is almost closed, and there's no way Chelsea will actually get any deal done when it comes to player sales. But who will be leaving for Jeremy Jacquet to come in? That is a big question we'll get to ask. But the report went on to say that Chelsea are going for Jeremy Jacquet not actually for this January, but for the summer. So we'll see how that will definitely play out in the coming days. But in all of this, Borussia Dortmund are really not happy. Here is what they said. The recall of Anselmino has burdened the relationship between Dortmund and Chelsea owner Begdad Egbali. Industry resources believe Chelsea recalled the player to put pressure on Rennes to lower the price of Jacquet. This is what Dortmund are also hoping is the case. Well, whatever Borussia Dortmund are hoping is up to them. But I want to believe that professionally, Borussia Dortmund actually read the terms and conditions before they actually got Anselmino on loan. The clause was there. Chelsea actually triggered the clause in order to call back the young lad to be part of the first team squad. And I think, in my opinion, that is the best decision Chelsea have taken. You have Anselmino, you have Mamadou Sarr. Why going for Jeremy Jacquet? And if you take a look at the asking price, over 60 million euros, and you think Chelsea can actually afford Jeremy Jacquet, that deal cannot happen, not until Chelsea actually sell some couple of players. Who would Chelsea be selling in order to bring in Jeremy Jacquet? That is the big question. In my opinion, Jeremy Jacquet, young defender, good at what he does, but I don't see Chelsea actually getting the young lad. In as much as Chelsea are still in the race alongside Liverpool and FC Bayern Munich, the signing of Jeremy Jacquet will definitely be a tough one for Chelsea. It's good Anselmino has actually returned back to Chelsea Football Club. All you just need is game time, and he will definitely do that job that Jeremy Jacquet is actually coming in for. Why going for a 20-year-old when you have them already on loan? You have Anselmino, you have Mamadou Sarr. Why going for Jeremy Jacquet? If you want to address the situation in the centre back of the team, all you just need to do is go for an experienced defender that can actually come in with their experience and value and fit into the team immediately. That is just what Chelsea need if we actually want to address the problem we are facing in the defense line. So, whatever Borussia Dortmund is thinking, or whatever they think is the case why Chelsea actually recalled back Anselmino, is up to them. Because clearly, they actually signed the contract paper before they got Anselmino on loan. And the contract terms was pretty clear, and the clause was there. They signed it. And now Chelsea have activated the clause, and Anselmino is back to Chelsea Football Club. So let's head over to Cole Palmer. Check this out from Samuel Lockhurst. Major breaking: Cole Palmer will be open to joining Manchester United. He feels unsettled in London. He feels unsettled in London. After over 2 years, Cole Palmer joined Chelsea in 2023. And after 2 years, he feels unsettled. I think this has to do with the sacking of Enzo Maresca. But we'll see how all of this drama is definitely going to end. The report went on to say, this is coming from the United report. Breaking: Cole Palmer will be open to joining Manchester United Football Club as he is unsettled in London. He will not entertain a return to Manchester City while Pep Guardiola remains in charge. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because something is definitely playing out here. No doubt, Cole Palmer might be unhappy at Chelsea currently. Reason best known to him, because we've not heard anything official from Cole Palmer. But with all of these speculations going on that Cole Palmer is unsettled, definitely if we put 1 and 2 together, it has to do with the sacking of former Chelsea head coach, talking about Enzo Maresca, who have actually given him that opportunity to shine and become what he is today. But then, Cole Palmer is open to joining his boyhood club, as the report have it, that is Manchester United Football Club, and he is not open to returning back to Manchester City if Pep Guardiola still remains in charge, which definitely means he still have Manchester City at sight. And another thing we can think of, if he's unsettled, because probably he has looked at the bigger picture of what is happening currently with Chelsea Football Club. He doesn't see himself winning the Premier League or the Champions League, and he wants to go to a club where he feels he can definitely win trophy. My advice to Cole Palmer: Manchester United currently is not that club. If it is Manchester City, good and fine. But we'll see how all of this will play out, because let's not be surprised. The season might just end, and once the season ends and Pep Guardiola leaves his position as Manchester City head coach and Enzo Maresca comes in, believe me, Cole Palmer will be in the next available flight or train or bus to Manchester City to join Enzo Maresca. But all of this, we are just putting 1 and 2 together. So let's see how this will play out in the coming days. But here's a detailed report on the situation of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer will be open to a sensational transfer to Manchester United. Palmer is unsettled in London 2.5 years on after his move from Manchester City. Palmer would welcome any interest from boyhood club United. Sources say Palmer would not entertain a return to City, where Pep Guardiola is still in charge. United Director of Football Jason Wilcox was the academy head at City when Palmer was breaking through. So that is the report. In all of this, the brain behind Cole Palmer move to Manchester United is former Manchester City academy director, who is currently the sporting director of Manchester United. So we hope to see how all of this play out, because Cole Palmer being unsettled in London is actually sending a lot of message. And I actually like how Chelsea are moving on. But then, on the side of Chelsea are not willing to sell Cole Palmer. And this is the report from Matt Law. Chelsea view Cole Palmer as untouchable, and they have no interest in selling him, despite his boyhood allegiance to Manchester United Football Club. He is not believed to have any clauses in his contract. Definitely true. Cole Palmer at Chelsea, no clause attached to his contract. But then, as Chelsea see Cole Palmer as one player that is untouchable, and definitely that is true. Cole Palmer has been the best player in Chelsea Football Club for the past 2 seasons now. And we hope to see, and we believe Cole Palmer will definitely stay. All of these are just speculation. But at the moment, nothing concrete has actually come up. But we'll see how all of this play out in the future. So what do you make of Chelsea recall of Aaron Anselmino back to the club? Do you think it's a good move? Or Chelsea should have allowed Aaron Anselmino to see out his loan spell at Borussia Dortmund? And what do you make of the report of Cole Palmer being open to Manchester United? Let me get your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and catch you in my next video. Bye.